Ladies and gentlemen, it is July 2nd, Wednesday. Currently 11:45 a.m. About to head to the gym. Don't have any clients at my personal trainer job today, but I do have some private clients to take care of. I hope I have two, but one is confirmed for sure. Around 3, I believe, and then the other one possibly at 5 if she confirms. But it's been slowly growing my clientele, I guess. Um, Mostly really older people that have been like wanting training, I guess. 'Cause a lot of younger people they're more hard-headed. They're like, I just want to try things out, which is fine, rightfully so. That's how I started myself. So, um, but it can never hurt to get that extra hand, maybe at least for a few weeks, and boost your progress from there, and then you take it on there from yourself and so on. But it is a rainy day in Vegas today, as you can see, and you can probably hear 88 right now, and thunderstorm apparently. But I think it's only gonna last a few hours. But yeah, tomorrow says it's gonna be clear, so guess we'll see. But pretty much heading to the gym right now. And then, yeah, don't think I'll be able to record just because I guess I have an excuse today. I have 10% on this camera left, so kind of gotta hurry this whole vlog thing as well. But anyways, today I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about just calories and macros. Yesterday I've made a video about what you should eat before training or around training, I guess. But I do want to talk about a little bit, how do you even know how many calories to eat, how many carbs to eat, fats, for your specific goal and your body, and where you're at currently, and depending on, how you want to progress. So before I ever started delving into like tracking and macros and all of that, it's a step-by-step process. So that's one thing you for sure have to get down. You have to play around with the tracking app, macros and calories. Play around with it. Doesn't matter if you're eating shit currently, just play around with it and try to get the hang of it. And obviously getting your hand on the food scale is really important. That way you can trial and error, learn how to weigh things out correctly, and input them correctly, and do this every day, and over weeks you'll start to get more comfortable with it, and you'll slowly start to like see exactly what you're eating on a daily basis, and a lot of people don't realize that you're eating a lot of stuff sometimes that is unnecessary, and that is getting you up to that range where you're not hitting your goal, whether it's like you're trying to lose weight, and those 3 sodas a day are not allowing it, and if you just stop those sodas, then guess what, you're good to go. But how do you even get there? So the first step that you should look into is going into a TDEE calculator. So you can find these online. There's various, pretty much just a basic formula. It's like a calculator online, like just your basic, like back in the day. I was born in '01, so I'm not too old, but I guess getting there. But back in the day, you had to kind of, if you needed a calculator, you searched it up on Safari or something, or Google, whatever it is. So it's kind of the same thing. You input the numbers you need, and then you get results. So if you go on one of these calculators, these TDEE, which is total daily energy expenditure, which pretty much calculates how many calories you're burning depending on what you input daily, obviously. But pretty much you input the numbers, and it inputs it into like a formula, which is a formula that is well known in the science space, in the fitness space, and you pretty much get estimated results on what you should be eating according to what your goal is to maintain, to lose weight, etc. The key thing here is that it's an estimate. So this is where you come into play. So you grab this estimate, and depending on your goal, you go on, you pretty much trial and error it. So let's say you input all your numbers, you put that you do very light activity, which is I think 1 or 2 days a week of fitness, whatever it is, and you put in your weight, you put in your height, and your goal at the time, and then let's say it gives you 2,000 calories that you're burning in a day. So where do you go from here? So first, ask yourself, what is your goal? Is it to lose weight? Is it to gain muscle? Well, if it's to gain muscle, then eat about the same amount of calories or slightly more, maybe at most 2,200, and then break it down, get your macronutrient ratio, which some of them even give it to you. If your goal is to put on size, the protein has to be there, the carbs have to be there, and everything really has to be there, but the main priority would be the carbs and the protein. So 1 gram per pound of body weight, and it'll tell you there. So if you weigh 150, eat 150 grams. And then carbs, it tells you, do you want to do a high carb ratio or a high fat ratio, which basically means you'd be eating more carbs compared to fats, and vice versa. But from here, you pretty much trial and error it. Same thing if it was for weight loss. If it's 2,000 that it gives you, guess what? You bring it down to like 1,800 and you go from there. So how do you go from there? You pretty much have to weigh yourself every day at weekly basis minimum. So the reason you have to do this is because both of these things are in conjunction. They go together. So they have to align. So if you're eating those 1,800 calories and you weigh yourself over the next few days, over the next couple weeks, and you don't lose weight at all on the number, and you don't feel any different, or guess what? You probably have to eat a little less. And then you keep doing that until you find that point where you're losing consistent, slow progress weight. So you shouldn't be losing like 5 pounds a week. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's not sustainable. So you've got to find that sweet spot where you're losing like maybe 1 pound a week, which is I'd say a good level. And then in terms of muscle gain, it's kind of similar. However, you have to make sure you're not gaining too much weight every week, because keep in mind that just because you're gaining like 5-10 pounds a week, guess what? Only like maybe a pound of that is going to be muscle, like maybe. And the maybe really depends on your experience. So maybe if you're a beginner, you'll probably, like, if you gain like 5 pounds a month, you'll probably be gaining like two of that in muscle, maybe. A lot of this does come down to genetics, but yeah, that's pretty much. I know I said a lot, and I'll try to. Hopefully, you guys can understand some of it, I guess. But if you guys want me to make a more in-depth, more like bring up that calculator and do a whole example, I don't mind doing that. Just let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Before my camera dies, I'm gonna head out and conclude this vlog. Please have a great day. Please subscribe, comment, and share, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram.